All right, so what I've been going over this week is bubble sort, and I did a video showing how to do a bubble sort in Java, and now I want to show how to do that in a language I use called Haxe. And if you're not familiar with Haxe, then you should check it out. I really enjoy it. So first of all, let's switch over to Chrome real quick. If you haven't watched the Java video, the Java bubble sort video, then I'm going to just show this real quick. Otherwise, you can kind of skip ahead if you've seen that one. But what I just want to do is search for bubble sort and go to this Wikipedia page and just kind of briefly check this out. There's probably way more information here than you need, but it's extensively covered. But really what we're going to be doing with this algorithm is we are going to sort an array. And we're going to actually be using integers, but for most modern languages, actually I would say almost 100% of them will also do this with string values. So if the language you're using can check greater than, less than against strings, then you should be able to use this for strings or integers or whatever. But basically, as you can see, what we're going to be doing is iterating through the array, and we're going to check each number to see if in that case, if 8 was greater than 7, and we just swap them until this entire array is in the correct order. So I'm just going to show how to do that in Haxe real quick. So I'm going to open up IntelliJ. I'm going to create a new project, and we're going to do a Haxe project. And I'm going to hit Next, and then let's do Haxe bubble sort. Click Finish and get this centered in my little video recording area for you guys. And then what we want to do is we want to create a new Haxe class main. And inside of here, we would like a public static function main. And we're going to say new main like this. So that way we're going to create a new main object, and this new function here should run. So what we're going to do is we're going to say var list, and we need an array of int values, and we're going to do a equals an array like this. So inside of here, we just need a bunch of random numbers. So let's say we need a 7, a 5, a 1, a 2. Let's do 45, 37, 42, 183, and let's say, I don't know, let's do 3 since we don't have that in there. All right, so that's a pretty small list to sort, but still you'll be able to get the concepts down. So the next thing we need is we need a couple of other values that we can use in our for loops. One that we need is a temp variable, and it's going to be an int, just like that. And then we need a for loop, and we're going to say var I in, actually I think in Haxe we can do I in let's say 0 through list dot length minus 1, just like that. And then we need a second for loop, and we're going to say j j in list dot length minus 1 minus I, just like this. Okay, so once we run through the first for loop and we get into the second for loop, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be evaluating the two numbers next to each other as we go through the for loop. And the reason we have the -1 here is we don't want to evaluate, in this case, we don't want to evaluate 3 to anything because there's no other numbers in the array. So we want to stop short of the actual length of the array when we're doing our comparison. And then in the J for loop, we are subtracting whatever place value we're in the first for loop so that we don't go too far. If we've already compared a number basically each time through the for loop is why we're why we're subtracting I. So right here what we want to say is if, and we're going to say list J is greater than list J plus 1, then we want to evaluate something. And what we want to do is we want to assign temp to basically list J, whatever the value is here. If it's greater than, then we're going to move it. So then what we want to do is we want to say list J equals list J plus 1. And then we're going to say list J plus 1 is equal to temp. So just to kind of walk through what this is actually going to do is in the case of 7 and 5, the first time through the for loop, it's going to hit this if statement. It's going to say, is 7 greater than 5? And it's going to say yes. So we're going to hop into this if statement and we're going to say temp, you're going to be equal to 7. So we're going to save that value. And then we're going to assign 5 to this first position here. So we're swapping them essentially. And then we're going to make 5 equal to the temp value, which is 7. Then the next time through the for loop, this will be 7, and so on and so forth until we hit 45, and then the 7 should stay here. And then the for loop should pick up on 45. It'll move it until it hits a number that is not greater than itself, and it'll stay. And we should end up with a sorted list by the end of this for loop. So to prove that, what we're going to do is put a couple of print statements in here. So in Haxe, we can say trace, and we're going to say unsorted list, and we're just going to print this to the console just like that. And then we're going to copy this and put it down here. And then we're going to say sorted list. So in order to run this in Haxe, we need to pop open a terminal window here, and we're going to, if you've installed Haxe, then you should have the Haxe command line installed, the command that helps you compile Haxe. So what you're going to say is Haxe-cp src, and then main, and it's the main Haxe file that we want to compile. And then we're going to say -- interp. So this should basically run it through the compiler without compiling it into some other language, because that's what Haxe is really good at. We're just going to run it through the compiler and output whatever into the console is what this is going to do. So as we run this, we should hopefully see a successful bubble sort. So I'm going to hit enter, and looks like I have a bad command in here. Oh, I left out a, have a little typo. Interp. I left out the T. So let's try that again. All right, so as you can see on line 10, we checked the unsorted list and it looks exactly like it should. It is basically the list that we created here. And then as we run it through the bubble sort, looks like everything turned out okay. We have a actual sorted list. So why is this important to know? Well, this puts you into a problem solving mode as far as using algorithms to solve a problem when you're programming. So it's really important that you take really simple algorithms like this and practice them frequently. I'd say, something like bubble sort is pretty easy. Once you practice it a few times, you'll probably remember how to do it. You may stumble every now and then, but especially if you get into a new language that you're not familiar with, try doing a bubble sort. There's some other algorithms that I'm actually posting videos on. Give those a try. I'd say do one of these, once or twice a week before you start work every day, and it'll just get you into that mode of solving problems, because you're going to find that you are sorting things or running for loops over data a lot, and this will definitely help you out in that area. So if you got any questions, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. I'd love to hear from you guys. If there is a particular algorithm that you would like for me to cover, I would love to know about it, and thanks so much.